Hello, everybody. This is Barb Scotty and with Near West Side Partners, and we today are joined with Matt Voigt from Groundwork Milwaukee and talking about their organization and what's going on. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today, Matt.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm going to switch over to a little bit of a PowerPoint and then we'll start chit-chatting with our friend Matt. And we go there. Everyone gets to see all sorts of things on my computer. Um, so again, welcome. And oh, this started at the wrong spot. So here we go. Or we're already living the dream of it's not
Right.
a perfect world.
Gotta love it.
There we go. And our usual highlight of things going on, not only in our neighborhoods, but throughout the community. As usual, please practice civil justice, no peace. And we're still working on our Choice Neighborhood grants and actively working on the action activities and then writing the transformation plan, which is for the big bucket of funds to revamp and probably rebuild College Court. Hunger Task Force and Neighborhood House have collaborated and are doing a food pantry. So that's during the week, and I cannot tell you what days it's on, but do go to the Neighborhood House website, and you can find out the hours for the food pantry. It is servicing 53208 and 53233. And much like the weekly webinars we have here, and this is a pre-recorded one, we have our Made in the Near West Side video series, and that's been a weekly event really promoting the businesses and organizations in our neighborhood that are still working hard to try and stay open. And that's really a fun event every week. It's Wednesdays at 4 p.m. live on Facebook, and then if you miss it, you can just go back to the Facebook, go to our web or the Facebook at Near West Side Partners and see the video in the past. Always putting a plug in for our local services. Milwaukee Rec is one. Programming's been ongoing throughout the summer, so take advantage of their free services. I also just got something from the Milwaukee Public Library. You can join their email list and stay abreast of what's going on from their perspective and keep up with the reading, and also lots of different virtual opportunities too. So different ways to stay connected while you're here in the Near West Side. And then one of the things going on for Near West Side Partners specifically is we're doing a housing survey. So we have some neat technology that all we need to do is take a picture, put in some basic information, and then we're going to have a map of every building in the Near West Side. So that's kind of neat to be able to help us as we're transforming our neighborhoods and wanting to get people into our neighborhoods, whether it's a resident or a commercial organization. We can be able to do it with this application. So that will it's a very big asset to the Near West Side Partners. And then on to our guest is Groundwork Milwaukee. I will tell you, I got really introduced to them as they did a project in one of our neighborhoods, Cold Spring Park. So I actually was walking and noticed this group of people in the cute little pocket park the Cold Spring Park has. And so I went over and said, hey, what you guys doing? And they were doing an effort to help clean up that little pocket park. Like any garden area, it needs some love and attention. And so they were able to help out Cold Spring Park, and I will let Matt share those details. So we have here with us Matt. He's the community program manager. There's his email. And so if you have any specific questions, you can email him, or as always, you can email me and I will get you guys in touch. So we are going to go. I'm going to bring us up so we're both speakers here, Matt.
Okay.
I'm going to stop share. And
Wonderful.
There we go. I can go ahead and close that too because, oops, I don't want to end it. Oh, wait, I got it. Participants. Ta-da! So, and then when you're ready, we're going to also do a little website surfing of their website so you can learn more about it, what the resources are, and go from there. So first, tell us about yourself and how you got started with Groundwork Milwaukee.
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm a recent graduate of the Masters of Sustainable Peacebuilding program at UW-Milwaukee, and that's kind of how I got connected with Groundwork in the first place. My program has a partnership with the organization. So last year, I started there as a summer internship and fieldwork requirement as part of my course, and kind of naturally that position evolved into a project assistantship position throughout the last year of my program. And then thankfully I was hired full-time at Groundwork then in May. And so since then I've been the community programs manager working full-time since May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, neat story.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, tell us more about Groundwork Milwaukee.
Yeah, so Groundwork Milwaukee is a nonprofit land trust based in Milwaukee, of course, focusing really on people, food, and water and how to connect those all together. What a lot of people don't know, though, is actually Groundwork Milwaukee is part of a larger national chapter of organizations called Groundwork USA. And Groundwork USA is based in New York. But there's Groundwork chapters all across the United States, Milwaukee obviously being one of them, but most notably there's other chapters in large cities such as New Orleans, Denver, or Atlanta, all kind of focusing on similar things related to people, food, and water, but all kind of also focusing on the specific needs of their community. So in Milwaukee, we focus a lot on vacant lot transformation because, as we all know, there's lots of vacant lots all across the city. And my role in particular is really focused on the development and management of community gardens and parks across the city. And that's our program called MKE Grows. And we operate around, give or take, about 100 community gardens and parks throughout the city, and Cold Spring Park is actually one of them. So that's what kind of led us to be there that day that we met. We were working on a project there, mulching and kind of weeding out all the rain gardens around the park. So that's just one example of a park and garden in our network, but we have tons of different examples. We have gardens that are more food producing in a sense, and they're giving their food either to local families or food pantries. We have a lot of gardens and parks that are run by church organizations. And then we also have gardens that are kind of rentable plot systems where people can come in and rent a plot. So all different kinds of models across the city. So it's been really interesting to see. And we have gardens, from the north side to the south side to the west side, even the east side. So we're really kind of in all corners of the city. So at the end of the day, that's kind of one of our main programs. But we do lots of different things too, with youth programming, with local high school partnerships. And we also have some water programming as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what was I going to ask you next? Oh, so then, how long have you been here in Milwaukee and who established it?
Yeah, so like I was saying before with the whole national trust, they were kind of seeking out, as far as I know, they were seeking out some different areas in the United States where a groundwork trust could be established. So actually around 2005, 2006, they started searching for some areas where a new groundwork trust could be established. Groundwork USA is backed by the National Park Service and the EPA. So they were kind of doing a study to see where a new groundwork trust could be feasible, and Milwaukee was one of them. So in 2006, they got the executive director on board, and then in 2007, Groundwork Milwaukee was officially established as a nonprofit.
Interesting. So then, with that explanation, do you have some federal funding then?
Yeah, so Groundwork USA has federal funding from the National Park Service and the EPA. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and yeah, we can get access to those funds if need be sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun how those little connections kind of swirl through, and to me, it's the hidden gem that we don't know about.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so, and hopefully we'll get to, I believe, there's one point on your website where you showed the patches of the different programs you guys have, which is kind of neat when you think about that National Park Service and what you're part of. So very cool. Would you like to take control and show us a little bit of your website?
Sure. Let's do it.
Right.
Okay. So I haven't shared a screen in a while, so I'll try this.
You're good. And like you lose everything here, so that one thing I get. Oh, there we are. We're good.
Does that make sense? Does that look?
Yeah. I think
cool.
it looks fine.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah. So cruise around, my friend.
All right.
Great.
So I guess, yeah, so this is our website, groundwork, mke.org. So here you can kind of just see some snapshots of some of the stuff we're doing. Up here, you can see, you know, our About Us section where, you know, we can look at our staff, our board of directors, and kind of our mission and our role. So really our mission is to bring about the sustained regeneration, improvement, and management of the physical environment by developing community-based partnerships that empower people, business, and organizations to promote environmental, economic, and social well-being. That's a lot of words, but basically what we're trying to say, like I was saying before, is really we're focused on connecting the community with the environment at the end of the day. And that's a lot of the work that we're doing. And we do that by our programs. So like I was saying before, we have our garden network, which is one of the primary programs that I oversee the planning for. And this is kind of interesting. You can take a virtual tour of some of our gardens. So all these little blue dots and purple dots here are gardens in our network. So you can see we have a pretty high concentration of gardens and parks in this area and in this area. But really, we're all the way from the very, very north side all the way to the very, very south side. So we're really touching like every corner and every community in Milwaukee in some way, shape, or form.
How do you, I'm popping in now.
Yeah.
So based on that map, how would a neighborhood or space be able to be part of your program?
Yeah, so what you can do is you can you could like look, you know, let's say you live in this area, maybe, oh, you could say, oh, I live right here. Oh, there's a bunch of gardens right here. You could just reach out to us and say like, oh, hey, I noticed there's a lot of gardens in the area where I live. You know, I would like to get involved. And maybe if you want to start a community garden, we can definitely help you with that process too. Starting a community garden is a little bit of a process between us and the City of Milwaukee's City Development Department, but I've done it a few times since I started here last year, so it's definitely plausible. So if you either want to get involved with an already existing community garden or start your new, we can definitely like help you with that process and get you going.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. Of course. And then I'll talk about it later too, but of course we have tons of volunteer opportunities. And that's a great way to get involved as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, another really cool thing we have is the Malio Farm. And a lot of people don't know that we operate this as well. Malio Farm is a urban farm located off of Port Washington Ave, kind of getting closer to Glendale, like right off of Hampton Avenue on the north side, and it is 11 different hoop houses. And this is a year-round thing, obviously more food producing in the summer. But a lot of the food that we're producing there is going to local food pantries and different CSAs as well. So we grow like an insane amount of food here, like tens of thousands of pounds literally throughout the year. And it's wonderful. It's just a great space. And again, I'll go into it more with volunteer opportunities because you know, it's an urban farm, and you know, there's tons of work to be done there all year round, and especially so right now. There's tons of harvesting going on of different crops and vegetables. So it's a really cool space. So I definitely recommend if you're interested in getting involved at any point. This is kind of like our most consistent opportunity. And it's just a really cool space to look at. You know, you kind of see all the food that's growing there. And I've never seen like zucchinis that big before and stuff like that. It's insane, like what's all grown there. And it's a really good progress. We do a lot of like, a lot of youth groups come out and different volunteer groups too, kind of pre-COVID obviously, but yeah, it's a really great engaging space, and you can learn a lot about producing your own food there.
Nice.
Just going a little bit, I won't go into all these programs necessarily, but our Green Team is a program that we just had wrap up for the summer, and this is a summer youth coalition that we partner with Employ Milwaukee for. So generally it fluctuates every year, but we get, you know, anywhere between like, generally speaking, like 8 to 15 high school aged youth. And they go all around the city and do projects for us. And they, you know, gain really tangible skills in, you know, like farming, growing food. And, you know, it's kind of like some of their first professional experiences too. So it's kind of a lot of their first jobs or second job. So it's a really cool program. This summer, they went to, you know, tons of different gardens, did tons of different work, setting up gardens, planting food, harvesting food. And they just had a really great experience. We had a really great group of kids this year. And yeah, so that it generally runs the end of June to like the first or second week of August. So that's
Okay.
that's that program. So that's an example. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's an example of kind of one of our youth programs that we really focus a lot on.
And is that the team that came to Cold Spring Park then?
That is the team that came to Cold Spring Park. Yeah, yeah. So that was one of the projects they did. So generally speaking, like I said, we focus their efforts to our garden network as a way to
Mm-hmm.
supplement support, besides volunteers and our own staff. And they also do work at Malio Farm as well, that I just talked about. And otherwise, we have them do projects. They built a lot of benches this year. They were really hands-on, and they did so much good work. And I was really impressed by them this year. So I'm really excited to see the next year's green team and everything they can do. Um, Really, the next big program is Young Farmers, which is another youth program we have as well. And this is a little more of a concentrated effort on a couple different locations. So instead of the green team really going to like I said, a bunch of different gardens and doing a bunch of different projects, Young Farmers is more focused on a couple different sites and really is seeing like the whole lifespan of like cultivating the space, growing the food, planting and then growing the food and then harvesting the food, and kind of all of the development that goes with all of that. So Young Farmers is a little more concentrated when Green Team is a little more spread out across the city. So this is a great program. We had 3 different locations for Young Farmers this year, and it's still going on. So yeah, Young Farmers wasn't really active for a few years, but we just restarted it this year. So again, I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I would love to expand Young Farmers out to a couple, maybe five to 10 locations next year. And then I know we really wanted to talk about Fresh Food Connect, which is kind of like the last big program I will speak about. And this is a really awesome program. We just started it this year. And actually, the Fresh Food Connect is an app that was developed. I'm not sure 100% where it was developed, but it was being used heavily in the Colorado and Denver area specifically. And actually, Groundwork Denver was using it and gave us the tip here in Milwaukee about it. So basically, the app is a way for gardeners to donate extra produce to local food pantries at the end of the day. So let's say you have your own personal garden, you're growing a bunch of tomatoes, zucchinis, and your family just isn't going to eat all of it. Well, instead of throwing it away, what you can do is you can sign up for this app, and you can become either a donator, so someone with a garden, or you could become a courier, someone that picks up the food at the spots. And it's super easy. Basically, all you do is you'll see different times available for pickup, and all you really have to do is leave your produce at the doorstep during that time. And there's some things you have to do. You just have to like type in like what you're donating and like how much generally. But really, it's a super easy process, and then people will come and take it from you. So kind of going into more volunteer opportunities as well. We're totally looking for tons of volunteers to be couriers. And we're also looking for people to, if you have a garden, to donate your food. We're partnering with a couple different food pantries right now to distribute the food. And, we're averaging about 90 to 100 pounds of food a week right now, and which is great for just starting. And right now we are also, so yeah, you can find a little more detailed information on this page about it. And then these are the food pantries that we are partnering with. Yep. So 3 different food pantries right now. And we are not in the entire city just yet, just because we started. But honestly, we were really pleasantly surprised with like how much traction it got so quickly. I didn't expect it personally. But it really blew up really fast. So, I think sooner rather than later, we're going to be activating more zip codes, and eventually we will be activated throughout the whole city of Milwaukee.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know lots of people say, "Oh, I have too many tomatoes," and so what is make sure that they get eaten get eaten, get eaten.
Yeah.
So and share with other people that don't have that resource. So wow, that's really
exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, they were telling us like, yeah, it's blown up in Milwaukee like faster than it's blown up like anywhere else they've launched it.
Really?
So yeah, I'm really happy with the city, and I think just now too, especially is like a time where people are giving a lot and are willing to help out. So I think that's been part of it too. But yeah, I really want to keep that momentum going. And then hopefully by the end of next year, we can have fresh food like all over the city.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
And so then share with us, oh wait, the other big question before we get on to the last one.
Oh yeah.
So what do you guys do in the winter?
Good question. So obviously as an environmental organization, we are extremely busy during the summer, spring and summer, and things do die down quite a little bit, kind of at the end of fall and winter, but our work doesn't end. We really focus heavily on, to do the work that we do in spring and summer requires a lot of planning and programming. So we heavily focus on planning for that programming, kind of what we're going to be doing, where we're going to put our resources, how we're going to set things up. And I do a lot of evaluation too, kind of looking at the summer and all the data we collected and asking ourselves like, what worked, what didn't work, how do we change our programming to fit the needs of the community better for the next year. So that's a big portion of the work. Our Malio farm, because it's hoop houses and greenhouses, actually does operate all year round as well. So not nearly in the capacity it does, of course, over summer, but we are still producing food there. And there still is volunteer opportunities there in winter as well. So that's another big thing that we do. And then we focus a lot on developing partnerships, especially with high schools. Not sure 100% what that looks like this year with everything going on. But that's a big focus too, is youth programs over the winter.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
So never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment.
And I will say, we in the past at Near West Side Partners have hosted a farmer's market. And this year we're transitioning to a produce stand.
Okay.
Which I will be plugging at the end of this, but understanding that it really starts in January. You cannot start anything that includes our farmers planting. It
exactly
really is that long of a process. So
yeah, and then as soon as it's not snowing anymore, which you never know in Wisconsin, but yeah, I mean we're out there right away. We're prepping sites, already like in March, April. We're trying to really get things going for the summer, just to let our gardeners have a really successful season and grow as much food as they can and, impact as many people as they can. So yeah, right now we're definitely in the swing of things, but, things will start dying down, November time.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. And so show us that there's 2 buttons you can always click on Groundwork Milwaukee, which would be donate. And then the other one is just as valuable as time and talent. So tell us about volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, so when navigating our website, if you're interested in volunteering, first off, you would go to Get Involved and then Volunteer. And this will take you to a form that you can fill out. And it's just a basic form, just asking information, kind of what you're interested in, your availability, and just kind of that general stuff. So for volunteer opportunities, like I was saying before, the big one is Malio Farm. It's a fully operational, fully running farm, needs tons of support between, kind of transitioning from prepping, planting, preparing, all the way up to harvesting and kind of shutting down a little bit in winter, just to a little, limited capacity, not the full capacity. So there are opportunities there multiple times a week. Also in summer, we try to schedule about 3 to 4 volunteer opportunities throughout the weekend at different Milwaukee urban gardens. So we have a sign up Genius too, which if you sign up for the volunteer, you'll get connected with our volunteer coordinator and she'll go through more of the process of what that looks like. But yeah, you just kind of sign up for a volunteer opportunity and those change every week. We just kind of are listening to our community and our gardeners and seeing what help they need. And then we're trying to schedule out, volunteers and support in that way. We're also building tons of stuff across the city. We're building rainwater harvesting structures and garden beds. And there's usually every week there is an opportunity. If you're more of a hands-on construction type person, you can definitely help our field operations manager, Nick, out there. But yeah, if you want to plant some things, weed some things, harvest some things, you're definitely gonna be with me in the gardens, again, that are changing every week. And that's the big extent of our volunteer opportunities. We're really trying to get people out in the community. And we have another garden named Kilbourne Gardens, which is right here. And this garden is a rentable plot system garden. It's actually the biggest garden in our network. There's about 120 to 130 beds there. And it's on North Avenue, right by Caddish Park, where it overlooks the skyline there.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is a rentable plot system, like I said, and big garden, so there's also tons of stuff there. So I usually have a reoccurring volunteer opportunity at this garden every week, and it's pretty much the same, kind of just bed repair and maintenance, weeding, mowing, all that good stuff, compost management. So yeah, those are kind of like, that's the breadth of like most of our volunteers. And there might be like one-off things here and there where we do something else, but that's generally speaking, that's what we're doing for volunteers.
Neat. Those gardens are really fun. I bike past there regularly.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah, it's great.
See all the activity and knowing that it's going to people that want to enjoy a garden. They can.
Exactly. Yeah, it's beautiful there right now. Everyone there, they kind of have a pact that everyone grows like sunflowers. A lot of people do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the sunflowers are in full bloom right there right now, and it looks awesome.
Well, I'll have to go biking by this weekend then.
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking time to show us. And I do want to say on your previous picture with your volunteers, I saw one of our neighbors, there she is, Pat Miller. She's the ubiquitous neighbor that is amazing. And as I talked about our produce stand, she's one of the reasons that came to light. So kind of not surprising to see her face on there, and proud to have such a great neighbor in the Near West Side. So good stuff.
Yeah, and our volunteers are awesome. They're really the bread and butter of our organization, and they're very dedicated. And again, going back, I think this year especially, like, people are really willing to come out and help. And I've really seen that shine this year. And we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers, without our green team, and without the community. So, a big thank you to everyone that's always is even interested in volunteering with us, even if you just do it one time.
Yeah, and that in itself too. I mean, it just takes one person. It only takes one person to help make a difference. So
exactly,
just taking a little bit of time to help out is very, very impactful. And as nonprofit leaders, we sure couldn't make it without volunteers and people trying to make a difference. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, I will take the screen share back. It's all mine now. Yes. Okay, what do we do now? We go, oops, let's see. Okay, do I do it? Oh, we are there. Oh, and then I really went crazy. Making me nuts. And I will switch this. We're going to escape. Oh, we'll just go to the next slide. So here's actually a little produce stand.
Oh, lovely.
It just started yesterday. And it's at 38th and Fleet. And our basic we call him the mayor of Valete Street. Tom Straub is a developer, and so he developed a property on the other side of the street, which houses Triciclo Peru, Pete's Pops. I believe he's getting a new tenant in as well. And then the businesses in that whole area. So he's renting that little green space from the city, and they put out picnic tables. He made us a produce stand. And so yesterday was the first start to produce in the Near West Side again. And at this point, we're doing it on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Awesome.
So the weekdays are from 3 to 6, and then Sunday is noon to 4. And then, you can take a seat and relax. I think it's going to be a nice variety of different vendors that are coming, except very small, only 2 to 3, and always have produce. And hopefully we're kind of gearing up for every day if we can find a farmer to come join us. So any farmers out there that want to sell their produce, or Groundwork Milwaukee, come on over. We just want to make sure that folks have access to fresh food.
Yeah, I actually did see this. Kind of small world. Triciclo Peru, shout out. A girl in my cohort, a friend of mine in my graduate cohort, is actually runs Triciclo Peru, Amy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she, we're friends. Love that restaurant. And
Yeah.
yeah, she shared this picture the other day. So yeah, I actually know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
small world. And they, again, Amy and Mario are just making a huge impact in the
yeah,
neighborhood as well.
they are.
So glad to have them. And they are neighbors. They live right above the restaurant.
Yep.
So that true old school, having your shop right below.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. And Volite Street's it's a hopping spot now. So we're
Yep.
proud, and very grateful for all the work that those businesses and developers have put into it, because it wouldn't be without. And another shout out goes to that neighbor I just mentioned. She's been instrumental, Pat Miller, in making sure that this produce stand is a real thing. So we do appreciate all those efforts. And then I think, let's see, one more. This is so fun. Oh, we're back at the beginning. Ha! Check that out. I guess I didn't include that last slide. That's kind of funny. Oh, well. So we'll go back to the very beginning. And I'm going to stop screen share. And then we will go to gallery view, and back to where we were in the beginning. So Matt, thank you for that wonderful half hour.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed how fast this goes. It's like,
I know. Yeah.
So it was a very informational half hour, and what a great organization you are, and so glad that we were able to connect and promote your services.
Thank you.
And folks, if you have questions, I'll put this slide back up with Matt's information. You can reach him there, or you're always welcome to reach us here. So I will go back there just to pop it as we stop. Screen share. Oh, okay. Oh, look there. Now it popped up. Oh,
there you go.
No screaming on the video. We will buzz through. Don't mean to make anyone sick. What? There we go. So there's his information. We know the website too was on the other slide I have. So we'll get that. And then
just
there it is.
groundworkmku.org. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So folks can find that resource if they want to volunteer.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, Matt, thank you. And I'm going to come back here to our stop screen share, and then we will give us a happy ending. So thanks so much. I'm going to turn off the recording button, and then we can, okay, cool. And I guess we should sign up. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Where's my record button? Stop recording. Did it work? Oh, here, up there. I haven't been on the receiving end of that.